Okay, alright. Good. Sekejap Lama I tak boleh nak ubah pula. Okay. Okay, so for today kita akan continue dengan D-Links. Okay, kalau I sempat then kita akan sambung dengan caveat. Sebab caveat pun quite lengthy. Okay, so oh tapi I ada few things sikit nak kena kejap Okay, before I start lah before I start, I ada few things I nak kena. Where's the verb? I baru baik demam ni, dia macam blank sikit. Okay, I had a few things I nak check with all of you. Okay, so for next week, I could not make the online class. Okay, sorry, I could not make the physical class. Okay, because I was called to the court. Okay, for hearing. So next week 11 January kan? Betul tak? Mana CR? So next week is 11 January, so should be at the physical class kan? So I'm very sorry I could not held the physical class. So can we and I will not be available sebab for the whole day I akan ada dekat KL Court. So can we make another replacement class on Sunday 15 January, the same time juga? Okay. Alright, so nanti I inform lah dalam WhatsApp So 15 January is for online class. Okay. I lupa sebab I nak kena confirm dates tu, kena confirm attendance tu hari ni. Okay, 15. Lepas tu 18 Januari Rabu kan? So Rabu kita buat kelas balik lah. So I will be available. Okay, so 18 Januari tu probably physical, but if there would be something that I do online lah. Okay, Rabu petang kan? Okay, so kalau Rabu tu ada kelas 22 tak ada lah sebab 22 CNY kan, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, 22 CNY. So then kita akan ada kelas 25 Januari and 1st February. Okay? apa-apa, so you can do revision. So your coursework, I already setting it up. I tengah uploading lagi soalan tadi tu. So I set it up by this evening. Okay, so this evening nanti akan auto pop up lah for your in your e-learning. Okay, then the due date would be until 2nd January. 2nd January, sorry. 2nd February. Okay, 2nd February. So you ada dalam sebulan jugalah nak buat. Okay, 2nd February. But actually there would be a presentation. So the presentation tu you buat just a simple presentation what you will be, just a key point. Okay, key point. So the presentation slide tu Selasa. Okay, Selasa upload to me. And then Rabu tu kita akan share with others. Okay. So presentation tu you can do like simple presentation PowerPoint ke ataupun Word documents PDF ke. Okay. But bukan essay lah. Okay, just put your keyword. So law you nak pakai case apa? Explain sikit lah. Okay, and then fakta dia tu macam mana based on your case. So from your presentation, I akan tengok and I akan betulkan lah mana yang tak okay. Then nanti baru you finalize your coursework. Okay, so 1st February you present. then you akan ada sampai 2nd February. Okay, kalau you all rasa tak sempat, I boleh extendkan lah. Okay, due date coursework tu. So, untuk your coursework, ada written dengan presentation. It's just a simple presentation sebenarnya. Okay. We try to do the presentation in one whole day on Wednesday. Okay, 1st February. So that you all can, maksudnya tak perlulah nak buat replacement class kan. Okay. So 1st February for your presentation and 2nd February for your due date coursework written. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Tapi on 29 sampai 2nd February, kita tengah study week.
I received the new calendar. You all sampai 5th February. That's the initial calendar kan?
We have a new calendar.
Kejap. Itulah sebab hari tu I receive. You all sampai 5th February and then baru you all go for study week. Kejap let me check balik. Oh, okay. Sorry, dia dah ubah. Tak, hari tu I dapat email, lepas tu, okay. Coordinator dah reply balik. Okay, for your final examination 5 Februari kan? 5 Februari hingga 23 Februari. Siap 5 hingga 23. Okay, so your 29 sampai 4th February your study week kan?
Yes.
Okay, kalau macam tu then your due date would be on
26.
tak apa, I boleh buat 28 tu your coursework written lah. Sempat ke? Boleh kot Simple presentation je lah your idea 25 tu. Boleh? 25 25 hari Rabu. Just a simple lah. Okay, I just want to check you all. Dia sebenarnya ada marks. Tapi I taklah rigid sangat kan. So, 25 tu, I will listen to your idea. Then your coursework written tu, I make the due date 28. Tak apalah, I still bagi due date you all 1 Februari. Okay? 1 Februari for your coursework. Tapi presentation tu kita buat masa kelas. Ya?
Okay, Miss.
Alright. Okay. So, nanti kalau during the revision week, we will see lah. Okay, later on. Kalau ada nak buat kelas ke just untuk just a quick recap. Alright. So, due date you all, I just remain je 1 Februari. Tadi I cakap 2 Februari So, 1 Februari lah 1 Februari. So, cuma presentation tu kita buat 25 hari bulan.
Sorry, Miss. May
Yes.
I ask the presentation is online or physical?
I would prefer physical. Okay, cuma kalau I could not make it, then kita buat online. Your presentation, you just buat slide simple je lah. Okay, so contoh first slide tu issue. Second tu, what law you will be using in answering your questions. Okay, and then your application, your explanation, and then conclusion. Alright. Nanti I bagi sampel. I bagi sampel answer lah. Okay, sampel answering tutorial. Boleh?
But Miss, we prefer online presentation because during that time, I think most of us already back hometown.
Sebab CNY
Yeah.
Okay, kalau macam tu, I okay je. Sekejap, I check my schedule sekejap. 8, lepas tu I ada court case 15. Okay, kalau macam tu, then on 18, I buat conveyancing papers. Yang kita akan semak papers. Okay, so 25 online. Okay, boleh lah. Alright, okay.
Okay, thank you,
So
Guru.
25 kita online, 18 kita physical. Boleh? So I set macam tu lah
Okay, thank you.
So 18 physical lah. Eh, 8. So 8 on hari ni lah 8 kan. So 15 online, 18 physical, then 25 online. So 18 physical tu kita buat conveyancing papers. Alright. Okay. Okay, so ada lagi tak yang untuk kita chat revision? Sekejap So I dah ni, okay dah settle. So nanti your coursework tu I buat dia auto setting petang ni Okay, so let's continue. Okay, kejap. So for today, you will learn on the dealings. Lease, tenancy, and easement. Okay. So have you ever heard on lease, tenancy, and easement? Lease mungkin you all pernah nampak kan kalau dalam kes-kes kita buat untuk fixture and chattel hari tu. Okay. Ada lessee, ada charge kan. Chargee. So dalam charge pun ada lessee and charge. Okay. Cuma I tak go deeper lah on lessee and charge tu. Kalau go deeper nanti dia panjang sangat. Okay. So lease ni it's kind of tenancy. Okay. Tenancy apa? Penyewaan. Okay. So lease adalah penyewaan. So lease is a conveyance. Conveyance maksudnya mau kepada satu proses transaksi tanah. Okay, so lease is a conveyance by which the proprietor of the land, okay, so the owner of the land is called lessor, grants to another person called as lessee. So maksudnya kat sini you dah nampak dah parties dia adalah lessor dengan lessee. Okay, and interest in land. Maksudnya kepentingan dalam tanah tersebut. So less than freehold and less than that to which the lessor himself is entitled, leasehold. Okay, so dia maksudnya lease ni ada satu tendency untuk you duduk ataupun you buat sesuatu di atas tanah tersebut, okay, for a period of time. Okay, so period of time. That's why we also have the leasehold and freehold. Okay, so lease tenancy. So the duration of the tenancy must be more than 3 years. Okay, but less than 99 years. Okay, so meaning that 3 to 99 years. Okay, sebab kita ada leasehold yang 69 years. Okay, kita ada leasehold yang 70 years. Most common adalah leasehold yang 99 years. Okay, 99 tahun leasehold. Okay. So the requirements. The lessee, okay, has an exclusive possession over the land. So the lessee, the owner, all right, he has the right to reject. So this one is reject. Okay, reject any of the people who can enter the land, all right, ataupun he can reject, he can decide to whom he can create the lessee. Alright, so the lessor must have the intention to create a lease, alright, a tenancy. Okay, lease dengan tenancy is different tau. Okay, dia taklah different sangat, tapi dia bezanya lease ni you kena register. Kalau tenancy, okay, sewa, bila you buat agreement ataupun you menyewa, it can be unregistered. Kan? Macam kita sewa rumah kat luar kadang-kadang by mulut je, tak ada agreement. Okay, so does not need a registration. Tapi kalau lease, you kena register. Okay, registration is important. So, So both parties must have the intention to create a list, okay, a tenancy. So how to determine the intention? So by way of these two things, the written agreement and the conduct of parties, okay? So the conduct of parties, after that, I will teach you why dia boleh jadi, dia still considered as lease, equitable lease, okay, walaupun dia tak ada agreement. Okay. So C, the period or duration must be definite and certain. Okay, kalau macam tenancy, you sewa, you boleh anjak-anjakkan ataupun you boleh extendkan. Okay, extendkan period sewaan you. Tapi kalau dalam lease, you kena ada definite, certain period of lease. Kalau nak extend lease, it's on the power of a lessor kalau dia nak extend the lease. Right? Then next requirements adalah the right of the title must be capable of transmission. Maksudnya is transferable. Okay, boleh dipindah milik. Berbeza dengan kalau sebelum ni kita belajar on TOL. Okay, TOL kan temporary occupation license. Kenapa TOL pula tak boleh transfer? Kalau lease you boleh transfer. Okay, transferable. But of course with the authorization. Okay, so A, B, C, D. Okay, the very important one. Okay, I rasa A, B tu you all dah nampak very clear kan. All kena ada intention. So intention ni derive daripada written agreement and conduct. So kita go kepada C dengan D. So C, the period or duration must be definite. Okay. So what would be the effect? Kalau you ada list yang you tak ada satu specific time limit. Okay. So contohlah you come into the agreement. Okay. And then you say that, okay, I'm leasing this land to you for as long as you like. So benda tu tak ada certainty. So bila tak ada certainty, okay, under this case, Karupan Chetty against Wan Tiam. Okay, so any agreement stated for as long as the party wishes is considered as a void agreement. Maksudnya even kalau you dari mulut ke mulut ataupun dari segi conduct ataupun by written agreement, you kena ada a specific period. Okay. So kalau you dapat soalan pasal list ni, the very common example you can say, for example, 99 leasehold of land. Okay, that's very macam obvious lah. Okay, very general. You boleh letak macam tu. So still dapat marks juga. Okay. So in another case, alright, Siu Sun Wah against Yong Tong Hong. Okay, so in this case, the fact of this case, a tenancy has been expressed to be as long as the tenant likes. But the law held that it is not void and still good as an agreement for lease. So difference dengan this case. Okay, so this case only applicable, alright, when the circumstances dia, okay, yang mana court kata ada tiga principle proven. Okay, the court apply equitable estoppel. Okay, very simple nak faham bila register dengan unregistered ni. Okay, registered hak dalam undang-undang. So registered in accordance with the provisions of NLC, National Land Code. Tapi bila ada benda-benda unregistered, dia jadi equitable. Okay, dia bukanlah something yang void, dia tak void, tapi dia jadi tidak mendapat interest, tidak diprotected melalui undang-undang. Remember kalau dalam previous class I ada cakap macam kalau level, if you are registered, so kalau contoh apa-apa berlaku, registered akan dapat dulu remedy. Kalau unregistered ni dia macam goyah, dia boleh dapat, tak dapat. So it depends on the court. Okay. So dalam kes ni, it still depends on the circumstances. So dalam kes ni, walaupun dia put such a indefinite period, tetapi court tengok whether ada tak circumstances yang fulfill these three principle: expenditure, expectation and encouragement. Okay. So okay. Expenditure ni maksudnya sama ada both parties tu comes into one another agreement or they are by conduct, okay, by oral. Oral kan boleh jadi agreement juga kan. Agreement kan written and oral, okay, ataupun conduct of parties. So dalam kes ni dia punya agreement tu kira vague kan, vague. Tapi dari segi conduct, okay, expenditure dengan expectation maksudnya the plaintiff ni dia expect bahawa the lessor will give you the right, okay, the right for the tenancy. Okay, encouragement. Encouragement maksudnya sama ada both parties memang dari segi conduct encourage bahawa memang dia nak extendkan the lease. Okay, tetapi kes ni, alright, kalau dalam undang-undang caution, kalau you tengok kat Lexis selalu dia ada macam ada ikon tau. Okay, kalau hijau maksudnya kes tu you boleh refer. Tapi kalau ada caution warna orange, dia tanda macam warna orange, okay, maksudnya hanya untuk certain circumstances saja. Okay, so basically you kena faham the duration must be definite. Only in certain circumstances it can be be not voidable. Alright, when the court decide there would be three principle. Okay, tapi biasanya kalau dalam questions, okay, I akan buat dia definite lah. Alright, so you just cakap je benda tu kena definite. I takkan bagi you soal apa macam kena belok-belok sikit kan ya, okay. So kalau dalam questions biasanya I akan tanya whether this duration is definite, apa sama ada benda ni can be considered as valid lease atau tidak. Okay, so you just make sure the duration must be definite. Okay, so kalau soalan tu kata however the lease would be for as long as the tenants like. Okay, then you pakailah case ni. Alright, the period tu must be definite. So, kena fulfill A, B, C, D. Okay, sebab kita bukan judge kan, kita bukan court. Okay, so this one only depends on the court's circumstances. So, the last element, okay, sorry, the last requirement, the right of the title. So, title ni IDT, alright, must be capable of transmission, transferable. So the right of the title must be capable of transmission. For example, the descendant of the lessee have the right over the title. So maksudnya I taking up the lease. So kalau I meninggal, so my descendants, waris I pula, take over the title. Okay, macam rumah. Okay, for example, rumah 99 tahun. So let's see, owner of the title meninggal, so waris dia dapatlah, still boleh duduk rumah tu, kan? Sebab list tu valid untuk 99 tahun. So contoh kalau dia meninggal pada umur 60, the balance 39 tahun tu, waris dia masih boleh duduk, masih boleh stay on the land. Teruskan sahaja list tersebut. Okay? So unlike the TOL, it is untransferable where it dies with the holder. Okay. Tapi TOL pun ada exception kan, yang mana dia boleh transfer through agent. Okay, but that one is under TOL lah. Okay, so dalam list, the right of IDT is transferable. Okay. So who has the power to grant lease? Okay, definitely the lessor. Remember tadi? The element is intention. So maksudnya lessor kena ada intention untuk bagi kepada lessee. Lessee kena ada intention to taking up the tenancy, taking up the lease. Alright. So another one is the sublessee or sub-sublessee. So maksudnya lessor bagi tanah kepada lessee. Ni okay, the sublessee ni you boleh buat contoh agent. Okay, agent. So, I agent hartanah. I taking up the lease from the lessor. Okay. So, contohlah lease ni 99 tahun. Tapi I tak nak duduk atas tanah ni. So, I nak leasekan lagi. I nak dapat profit. So, I leasekan kepada another lessee. So, that lessee Orang ketiga dipanggil sublesi. Okay, so panggil sublesi. So sublesi ni pula mungkin dia agent juga, okay, ataupun mungkin dia tak nak duduk atas tanah tu, dia sewakan kepada orang lain. So orang keempat jadi sublesi. Okay, so kalau ada apa-apa dispute, maksudnya orang keempat kena against nombor tiga against nombor dua against nombor satu, owner. Okay, clear so far? Okay, so the parties could be ada lessor, lessee, sublessee and sub-sublessee. Okay. So tenancy pula berbeza. Tenancy you tak boleh ada sub panjang sangat. Okay, tenancy cuma ada the tenant and subtenant. Okay, maksudnya ada owner, landlord and then bagi tenancy kepada tenant, tenant bagi kepada subtenant. Okay. Sebab tenancy it can be unregistered. So bila unregistered, you punya kepentingan, okay, goyah lah, okay, pincang. It could be have a lack in the interest within the provisions of land law. Okay. So maximum duration for lease. Okay, so lease ada perpetuity and leasehold. Okay, biasanya leasehold lah sebab kita tak boleh not exceeding than 99 years. Okay, so untuk perpetuity can lease the whole period not exceeding 99 years. Okay, this is the current development of law. So kalau kata, okay, but this one you kena differentiate dengan tanah yang memang perpetuity. Okay, perpetuity grant dan juga bukan yang ada lesi tau. Bukan yang ada lease. Okay, pindah milik tanah yang transfer. Remember kita belajar transfer? Okay. So, and satu lagi tanah MRL. Okay, Malay Reservation Land. Malay Reservation Land, you tak boleh nak lease, dia boleh lease. Cuma dia tak ada lease exceeding 99 years. Okay. So, untuk tanah yang memang granted perpetuity dan perpetuity forever. Okay, you still kena tengok dekat grant tu. Okay, kadang-kadang, oh tanah I perpetuity sebab my father kata perpetuity. Tapi bila tengok dekat grant, dia ada tulis. Okay, perpetuity tapi dalam kurungan 99 tahun. That's berbeza dengan kalau dalam grant tu dia tulis memang perpetuity sahaja. Perpetuity sahaja maksudnya dia forever. Okay, sebab undang-undang tanah ni kan develop. Remember torrent system daripada Belanda and then you apply torrents concept and then now. So there's still tanah-tanah, especially tanah-tanah kampung ataupun tanah-tanah pedalaman. Okay, yang masih belum develop. So bila you nak beli tanah, tanah ni grant dia lain lah. Okay, sebab landlord kan dia developing. So kalau kat bandar tak apa, you boleh straightforward je. Kalau rumah you perumahan kan ataupun apartment, that's very straightforward. Mesti dah tulis dah. Dia kalau yang ada masalah ni kalau tanah-tanah yang memang tak pernah develop lagi ataupun dekat pedalaman ke ataupun tanah-tanah yang belum diusahakan. Okay, yang masih forest tapi they claim that if they usahakan tanah tu, that will be their land. Okay. So perpetuity ni you kena tengok dekat grant tu. Okay. So kalau tanah perpetuity dia boleh lease kan tetapi hanya setakat 99 tahun. So kalau leasehold very simple lah. You boleh tahu can hold up to the maximum of the period available. Maksudnya 99 tahun. 3 tahun, mesti lebih 3 tahun sehingga 99 tahun. Okay. So provisions of the NLC. Okay, so under NLC, the powers of proprietor to lease for a term exceeding 3 years. Okay, lease sememangnya lebih 3 tahun. Kalau tenancy, okay, lease ni dia lebih kurang dengan tenancy sebab dia about tenancy juga. You duduk, okay, you sewa tanah tu. Tapi untuk tenancy, okay, dia unlimited, okay. It can be within 2 months, it can be 6 months, okay, it can be 1 year, alright. Tapi kalau lease, bila you register lease kepada pejabat tanah, mesti lebih 3 tahun. Maksudnya you membenarkan lesi untuk duduk di atas tanah tersebut melebihi 3 tahun dan ke atas, alright. Tapi kan ada definite period lah. Kalau you bagi 10 tahun, 10 tahun lah registered dengan lessee tu. Okay. Tu section 221 NLC. So section 221 sub 2, okay, if less than 3 years, it called as tenancy exempt from registration. Okay, so as far as NLC is concerned, the law does not recognize. See, kalau something yang you tak registered, the law, dia macam mana law ni, dia dari segi equity je you ada. Okay, maksudnya dari segi kepentingan je. Which tak straightforward lah. You, kalau bawa pergi mahkamah, baru mahkamah tengok lah whether you ada right ke tidak. Okay, so the law does not recognize tenancy exempt from registration unless an endorsement is applied. Then it would be recognized as equity. Okay, it's never be registered sebab it's no registered kan. So you tak boleh panggil dia sebagai registered lessee. You tak boleh panggil dia sebagai registered lease. Okay. So section 221 sub 3 sub A, if want to lease the whole of the land, the maximum period is not more than 99 years. Sebab kalau dah lebih 99 years, it no more leasehold lah. Okay, it become a perpetuity. So perpetuity ni hanya boleh grant by state authority. Okay. So, section 221 sub 3 sub B, if a lease involve part of the land, the maximum period is not more than 30 years and a plan must be attached. Okay, a plan ni maksudnya drawing lah. If you want to develop the land ke ataupun you want to build a private house kan, kediaman, okay, the land tu must be attached. Okay, if you nak lease portion je, portion of the land. Okay, and must be not more than 30 years. So the procedures. So kalau dalam transfer 14A, right? Okay, so kalau kat sini kita pakai form 15A, okay? So under section 221 sub 4, okay, you must register your lease under form 15A. Alright, the period for the lease must be certain and definite. Okay, so there are some restriction on lease. Okay, there shall be no lease to extract raw material or mining purpose and forest produce. Okay, kenapa? Sebab yang ni duduk bawah permit, bawah license. Okay, permit. So no lease of toll land. Okay, maksudnya no lease untuk temporary occupation license. If a particular land is subject to a charge, any lease of the land must be with the consent from the chargee. So the chargee, the bank, okay, has the right to object and disapprove any lease because the land is subject to their right and interest over the land. Okay, so yang ni you boleh tengok cases yang, remember there is exception macam fixture and chattel kan. Kan ada charger and lessee, charger and chargee relationship. Yang mana kalau dalam agreement tu you list something, okay, you punya hak tu was enumerated in the agreement, you cannot, so the bank tak boleh ambil the the bank tak boleh ambil the chattel and fixture tu bila mana hak tu tidak boleh dibenarkan kepada third party. Okay, so this is the lease. Alright. Biasanya bank takkan allow lah you buat charge, you do charge property on a leased land. Okay, sebab dia dah jadi macam you, dia ada dua benda dealings kan kat situ. Okay, biasanya dia akan bagi kalau you charge the property yang memang betul-betul your property. Okay, so maksudnya it's already been transferred, registered, under transfer lah, pindah milik property. So in the case of Murugappa Chetty, okay, the chargee's consent is required for lease of charged property. So in a lease, ownership goes to the lessor, but the possession goes to the lessee. Okay, and the title goes to the chargee. So ni kalau untuk lease charge, lessor chargee relationship. So in matter of charge, the ownership remains with the charger, who is the owner of the land. And if the charger fails to settle the charge, the chargee bank has the right to apply for order for sale. Okay, order for sale maksudnya boleh auction. Okay, or taking possession of the land as the case may be. Okay, so kalau ada as the case may be ni maksudnya the dispute tu still depending on the decision by the court. Okay. So limitation. So there are limitation untuk list. Okay, section 2 to 5 sub 2. Okay, you can create sub list but cannot create for more than one person. Maksudnya kalau tadi owner, lessee and then sub list lessee kan. Sub lessee tu kena penama dia satu saja. And then baru you sub lagi lessee tersebut. Okay. So untuk section 68, okay, TOL no right over the land lease. Okay, land lease. Section 2 to 6 sub 1, if you want to create another list, meaning that sub list, okay, you kena ada consent, written consent from the charger. This one, kalau untuk charge, lesser charger, lesser charging relationship. Okay. Okay, next agreement for lease. Kenapa tu keluar? Mana tadi? Sekejap dia lari sekejap. Okay. Sorry. Apa ni? Okay, share balik. Okay, this one kan? Okay, so agreement for lease. Okay, agreement for lease. A proprietor of land leases his land to B. Okay, so they have entered into an agreement. So what if they did not register the agreement? So what would be the position if the lessor or lessee failed to register the lease? Okay, so under equity, the agreement is still valid. Okay, because that's the conduct of parties. Okay, so under equity, the agreement is still valid. Cuma you tak register the lease. So B can sue the proprietor. Okay, so this is based on the case of Margaret Chua's case. Okay, under this case, the plaintiff and defendant own an adjoining land. Adjoining land ni maksudnya tanah tu together. Dia grant besar, dalam tu ada portion. So portion diorang ni together dalam grant besar tu. Okay, so the plaintiff promised D to build a building and going to lease it to D for 25 years. Okay, so due to certain problems, they cannot fulfill one of the requirements of the land ordinance. Okay, so the agreement cannot be registered. So in order to proceed with the development of the building, plaintiff then charged the land to C. Okay, is the third party. So when the building finished, D came into possession based on the agreement. Later on, the plaintiff offered to sell the land to defendant at a lower price, and defendant agreed to purchase it with the consent from chargee. So the defendant, knowing of the dealings of the plaintiff, C and D, okay, caveated his interest. Maksudnya dia masuk caveat. Okay, caveat ni adalah satu untuk menghalang daripada performance. Okay, remember the lien holder caveat tadi, lien holder caveat sebelum ni. So caveat ni dia ada 4 tau, dia ada 4 jenis caveat. Okay, ada caveat, basically dia more kepada untuk you stop performance. Okay, stop someone from performing something. Okay, so P and C ni dia masuklah caveat ni untuk caveated his interest, untuk protect dia orang punya right. Okay, interest, kepentingan. So under the agreement to lease the building. So when defendant went to the land office, the agreement to lease the building was not mentioned, but there's only charge in the IDT. So how to lodge caveat if there is no consent from chargee? Okay. So this one, kita kembali kepada equity. Okay, so first, whether the agreement for lease is valid. Okay, if it is valid, the defendant has the right to proceed with the lease until 25 years. Okay, maksudnya dia ada hak lah untuk proceed dengan lease. Okay, dalam kes ni untuk 25 tahun. Tetapi kalau agreement tersebut void, sebabkan agreement tu tak register kan. So, if it is considered as void, the term in the agreement, then tak adalah lease. There is no intention to create lease. Okay, so the judge look at the principles of equity. Equity comes when it is fair to do so. Maksudnya equity ni, walaupun you tak registered, it's something that it is fair untuk bagi interest atau kepentingan tu kepada you. Okay, so it is not fair to the defendant. So based on equity, walaupun agreement tu tak registered, it is a valid agreement. Okay. So what is the effect of an unregistered lease? Okay, in the case of Margaret Chua, okay, the judge said that although the agreement for a lease for 25 years was void for lack of registration, but it was valid as an agreement for lease and enforceable in equity. Okay, see, dia tak kata tau benda tu registered, dia tak kata benda tu registered and enforceable within the land code. Okay, within the land law, National Land Code. Okay, the judge said that it was valid and enforceable in equity. Okay, equity ni dia hanya protect je right you. You boleh guna je. Tapi if contohlah, kalau ada kemusnahan ke apa ke ataupun if there would be something, okay, dia macam ni lah, kat tanah, tanah, kalau you tak registered contoh macam ni kan list kan. So list tu contoh sebelah tu tanah kerajaan. Then kerajaan nak develop tanah tu. Tiba-tiba berlaku kalau landslide tu of God. Dia kalau contoh itu tak yang something, I lupa lah apa nama dia. Dia macam bom tanah tersebut untuk you crashkan hard material. I lupa nama bom tu. Dia term tu. You know like kalau you do the construction, you boleh, dia kan ada banyak jenis excavation kan. Dia you bomkan hard material tu. So siapa tahu nanti tulis dekat chat I lupa nama term dia. I encounter ada one case ni dia macam tu lah. So dia ada banyak hard material and then you bomkan supaya dia terus pecah kan. Senang you nak excavate. Sebab kalau kita excavate guna excavator je, nanti excavator tu yang rosak. Macam tu. Okay, so this one contohlah government bomkan benda tu and then it affect tanah you masa you jadi lessee. Okay, so you kalau you registered lessee, you boleh saman against government tanah sebelah sebab fail to, you boleh saman under tort. Okay, sebab you suffer damages. So, you boleh saman under tort lah, law of tort. Okay. Tapi kalau you tak register, okay, contoh macam ni lease and enforceable equity, you cuma macam right you tu cuma dekat atas tanah you je. So, kalau you suffer damage tu, it quite hard untuk you saman sebelah. Okay, sebab hak you tu tak protected under the land code. Faham tak? Okay, if dia macam something happen which makes you suffer, you cannot claim. Benda tu sebab you bukanlah registered. Kalau you claim pun, mungkin you dia tak succeed lah. Okay, everyone has the right to claim under the court. Okay, whether succeed or not je. Okay. So, and that's the case under Margaret Chua. Okay, walaupun you tak register, it can be enforced cuma under equity. Yeah. And then Siu Sunua against Yong Tong Hong. Under Privy Council, court, okay, held that an unregistered written agreement for a lease stated to be as long as the tenant wishes to occupy was invalid as an equitable lease for 30 years. Okay, so just straightforward lah, guna je case yang apa, as long as the tenant wishes to occupy. Okay, cuma dari segi prinsipal, you can see kalau unregistered lease, it can be enforced under equity. Tapi kalau you registered lease and cuma tak ada definite period, it will be invalid. Okay, so all the all the four elements payment of lease yang tadi kena fulfill. Ni A, B, C, D. Okay. So effect of unregistered lease on third party. Okay, this is the case of Ong Hong Hua against Teo Chai Sok. So the principle here, a purchaser with notice that the vendor is not in the possession of the land takes subject to the right or interest of a tenant in possession, notwithstanding the fact that the tenant may have entered under unregistered lease. Okay. Okay, nanti you continue further reading on these cases. Okay. Can we take a 5 minutes break? I need to go to ladies now. Okay, kejap. So we resume balik 12.10 . So I sambung untuk tenancy dengan satu lagi apa? Easement. Okay, that one is very straightforward lah. So boleh finish early lah. Okay, so kita resume. So, tadi stop sini kan? Ini ke sini? Ni dah kan? Okay. So, this is another cases, okay, untuk bila you ada agreement, kenapa tak? Sorry, bila you ada agreement tapi you tak register. Okay, so Devi against Francis dengan ni, Siu Sun Wah. Okay, Siu Sun Wah ni dia simple dia. Okay, nanti you all baca Siu Sun Wah dengan Devi against Francis ni. So dalam Siu Sun Wah ni dia tak ada satu I briefly lah. Okay, dalam Siu Sun Wah ni dia tak ada specific period mention in the agreement of the tenancy, in the agreement of the lease tersebut. Okay, dia tak boleh consider as lease sebab dia tak registered lagi. So dia dalam agreement of tenancy tu. So dalam ni dia ada satu yang mana landlord tu dia bagi list kepada responden. Okay, this duduk tu apa tenant kan, lessee lah, lessee. Okay, so the landlord bagi kepada lessee. Okay, tapi dia orang tak registered the agreement, and then the agreement tu hanya tulis for as long as you wish, maksudnya tak ada definite period. So bila tak ada definite period, okay, kan dia tak fulfill kan the elements. Tetapi dalam kes ni court cakap, alright, walaupun dia tak bagi satu period, tetapi by conduct dia ada pembayaran rent. Okay, selagi mana lessee tersebut bayar rent tersebut, so dia boleh occupy it. So kat sini maksud dia court kata kalau you ada agreement, walaupun agreement you tu stating that for as long as the tenant wish, okay, dia supported, okay, supported by the conduct of the lessee tersebut bayar rent tersebut. Okay, selagi mana dia boleh duduk dekat atas tanah tersebut as long as he wishes and the person pay the rent, so he can occupy it. Okay, so the court kata for as long as he wishes, it considered as the intention of the parties. Okay, so this one dia agreement, dia tak ada period agreement, dia tak ada period mentioned in the agreement, tetapi dalam agreement tersebut dia dah state dah the tenant may occupy the property for as long as he wishes, but as long as the person pay the rent. So dia ada tambahan kat belakang tu. So then selagi mana dia bayar rent tersebut, dia boleh occupy it. Okay? So that is supported by conduct. Dia ada written agreement and by conduct. Okay? So dalam Devi against Francis ni, okay, Devi against Francis, this one dia portion of land. Okay, yang ni okay, so yang ni court dia explain yang 3 benda tersebut. Remember kalau you tak registered, you still boleh jadi equitable lessee provided ada 3 benda tadi. The expectation, encouragement dengan apa lupa lagi satu. Expenditure. Expenditure ni maksudnya dia ada something consideration lah, dia ada bayar something. Okay. Mana tadi? Devi against Francis. This one. Okay, so dalam ni court dia highlight this principle of 3 benda. Expenditure, expectation dan juga encouragement. So you boleh tengok what Chang Ming Tat J judge. Okay, as he then was. So the appellant had bought the house with the tenancy on the ground that a clear expectation, maksudnya a clear agreement would be done, okay, would be made. So of a right to purchase the land. So this is implied that the landowner and successor with notice, okay, they had knowledge. So they cannot end the tenancy based on 1 month notice, okay, without referring to their agreement. Okay, unless the land has been offered to the appellant to purchase and she had refused the offer. Okay, therefore, in the absence of offer to sell the land, the notice to quit did not have effect in law and equity. Okay, yang ni bila you duduk dekat atas tanah tersebut and you allowed to build the house and the agreement given the propriety untuk you buat sesuatu di atas tanah tersebut. Okay, so the agreement tu bind both parties. So you tak boleh nak sublesi ataupun you tak boleh nak jual tanah tu selagi mana lease tu terpakai, selagi mana lease tu berjalan. Okay. So this is the principle. So if there is no written agreement, the owner is silent, is considered as part of consent. And sometimes the agreement is immaterial. The rent received, maksudnya the conduct of parties too, can be considered as consent, acceptance and proof. Okay, the rental proves that there are encouragement, expectation and expenditure. This one only terpakai kalau you tak registered. Okay, kalau registered very straightforward. Dia kalau unregistered ni you kena tengok onto the facts and circumstances of the case. Okay. So rights and liabilities of lessee and lessor you boleh refer kepada provisions under NLC. Okay, 230, 233 for the implied provisions. Okay, untuk lessor you boleh refer section 232. Okay, so it is duty to lessor to guarantee the enjoyment and the peaceful of property. And it is implied that the lessor will pay quit rent and assessment rent. Okay, rent ni rent kepada, dia cukai lah, cukai tanah. Okay, cukai tanah dan cukai pintu kepada pejabat tanah. Okay. So untuk lessee you boleh refer section 230. So lessee must follow all the conditions stated. Oh okay, lagi satu. Okay, lessor kena bayar tau cukai tanah dan cukai pintu. Pintu kalau you ada property atas tanah tersebut. Kalau tak ada you just bayar cukai tanah. Okay, lessor kena bayar. This you can differentiate dengan transferor and transferee. So bila you jadi owner, registered proprietor of the land, you kena bayar cukai tanah. So dalam ni the ownership still kepada lessor. Okay, lessee tu cuma menyewa je. So sebab tu cukai tanah, lessor kena bayar. Okay. So untuk lessee, you punya dia punya responsibilities and liability is provided under section 230. Okay. So lessee must follow all the conditions stated. Lessee must pay tax concerning the land. Permit to lessor to enter the property in order to check the condition of property. So section 234 can infer from the NLC. Okay, any provision under NLC is mandatory. So maksudnya registration. Okay, you kena register. So in case of any breach of condition, the lease and land will be liable for forfeiture. Okay, rampasan. The lessor has the right to take the land back. Okay. So determination of a lease, okay, by ada 5 ways. Okay, lease. Okay, determination maksudnya terminate. Okay, terminate. Terminate the lease. So they are by 5 ways. Okay, by forfeiture, by surrender. Surrender ni you serahkan semula lah kepada lessor. Okay, by lapse of time. Lapse of time maksudnya lebih daripada period yang dibenarkan. So by notice maksudnya lessor, the landlord, okay, landlord boleh bagi notice, okay, I nak terminate your lease. Okay, tapi untuk notice provided, kalau agreement kata you kena bagi notice 30 days, you kena bagi notice 30 days. Before, maksudnya you kena bagi peluang lah kepada lessee untuk prepare, oh I nak kena terminate lease ni, macam tu. Okay, by notice. Notice ni kena ikut juga agreement. Kalau agreement senyap, okay, tak ada term you kena issue notice, then lessor no need to issue notice. Tapi kalau agreement suruh you issue notice, you kena issue notice. Notice tu ada written notice, okay, sebab tu kena specify dalam agreement. And then by operation of law. By operation of law ni maksudnya contoh state authority nak ambil balik tanah tersebut. Okay, daripada lessor. Okay, ataupun daripada contoh kalau lessor tu adalah state authority, so dia ambil balik tanah tersebut daripada lessee. Okay, by operation of law. Okay, by forfeiture under section 234. Okay, there are 3 basis ataupun ground untuk forfeiture. So A, B, C. Okay, A kalau ada breach. Breach of the provisions of the lease agreement, whether express or implied. Also conditions stated in NLC. So in the implied condition, you refer yang ni. Okay, 230, nampak tak? 230 hingga 233. Okay, for the implied provision. So implied provision ni sama juga macam condition you belajar untuk use of land. Okay, kalau ada tanah agriculture, kalau ada tanah industrial, okay. So if the lessee has been adjudicated bankrupt. So kalau lessee tu bankrupt, so dia tak boleh nak bayar rent kan. So kalau dia renew lease pun, you still kena bayar untuk renewal lease. Okay, so kalau you bankrupt, you tak boleh, kiranya tanah lease tersebut boleh forfeit balik by lessor. And then if the company goes into liquidation, this is when the company become lessee. Okay, goes into liquidation maksudnya dia bankrupt, winding up. Okay. Okay, how to forfeit under section 234 sub 2 by take or possess or re-entry onto the land. Okay, second, action in court. So the procedure need to give notice. So in the notice kena specify apa breach yang lessee tu buat. So contohnya lessee failed to pay 2 months of rent. Okay, so capable of being remedy. So lessee kena rectify the mistake. But in case of non-payment, then the lessor boleh minta duit tersebut. Tapi kalau still lessee tak bayar, boleh forfeit the lessee land. Okay. Okay, next easement. I cepatkan sikit sebab nanti you all ada, petang ni you all ada kelas kan? Okay. So easement. Okay, easement ni dia very straightforward. Easement ni kemudahan. Okay, kemudahan. Easement kalau anda section 2 act 2, okay, ni bagi hint lah. Easement ni masuk lah, okay. Alright, so easement section 2 act 2, okay, any right granted by one proprietor to another. So in his capacity as registered owner of the land and for the beneficial enjoyment of his land in accordance with the provisions of NLC. Okay, so itu definition of easement. You boleh tengok dekat section 282. Kalau list tadi, you tengok dekat section 283. Okay, so kalau easement ni bawah tu summary dia. Okay, I dah summarize kind of for you. So easement is a privilege or right given to the owner of a piece of land. So owner of this piece of land, you consider as dominant land. Okay, over land owned by another, servient land. Okay, so yang ni I bagi contoh dalam ni. I ada buat illustration sikit. Okay, this one. Okay, kalau you tengok dekat belah kanan ni okay, okay, main road. Okay, you bayangkanlah ini adalah satu tanah okay. Satu tanah besar yang belah kanan ni yang main road servient land ni, okay. Okay, atas tu main road. Okay, so servient land. Servient land maksudnya owner yang bagi privilege tu. Servient land ni, okay, easement tu, servient land ni tanah dia. Okay, bawah servient land, dominant land. Ataupun sebelah dia lah. Okay, kalau you nampak kan kat situ kan dominant land and bawah dia river mountain. Okay. Kita buat A, B lah. Okay, ni berconteng kan. Okay, A, B Okay, river A tu servient land, dominant ni B. Okay, so dominant land, sebelah tanah dia, belakang tanah dia, river ataupun mountain. Okay, kita ambil lah river. Okay, river. Okay, dominant land ni dia tak ada boat and then river tu mungkin banyak buaya. Itu tak kalau macam kat Sungai Linggi, Melaka kan? Kan banyak buaya. It's quite dangerous there kan? Okay, so you bayangkan macam tu. So dominant land, river. River, you tak boleh nak bergerak. Kalau you tak ada sampan ke, you tak ada boat. Okay, so macam mana you nak keluar ke pekan? So nak tak nak, macam mana you nak kena pergi main road? You ada kereta. You tak ada boat, you tak ada sampan. You tak boleh nak lalui river. So, kereta you kena pergi main road. Sekarang ni you tak ada laluan. Okay, you tak ada jalan. Let's say lah Servian land ya. Servian land ni tanah sebelah you. Okay, easement tu tanah Servian land tu. Okay. Easement tu sebenarnya tanah Servian land tu. Okay. Bayangkan easement ni tak ada Okay, so Servian land kan. So dominant land kena minta izin daripada Servian land owner untuk dia pergi main road. Okay, Servian land kalau dia bagi, dia will be easement. Okay, kalau dia bagi sedikit portion tanah dia sebelah tu, okay, dominant land owner, DL, okay, you bolehlah keluar pergi main road, lalu je tanah I. Okay, itu dikira easement, kemudahan. Okay, you bagi dia jalan. Okay, easement ni dia boleh jadi, okay, I bagi you, go on lah. Okay, ataupun dia kena register. Okay, dalam satu portion of land dia sikit, ambil lah dalam 4 meter ke kan, untuk kereta lalu. So dominant land, barulah dominant land boleh pergi main road. Dia akan lalu easement tersebut. Okay, dia yang menjadi dispute kalau Servian land owner ni dia pasang pagar. Okay, Servian land owner pasang pagar, macam mana dominant land nak lalu pergi main road? Okay, sebab dah ada halangan dekat situ. Okay, so kalau dia nak pergi nak lalu river pun tak boleh. Let's say lah kalau belakang dia mountain, takkan dia nak kena daki mountain tu, lepas tu pergi pekan. Okay, dia boleh tapi ia menjadi inconvenience. Okay, sebab tanah kan about enjoyment. Alright. Okay. So, easement adalah a right granted by the Servian land owner to the dominant land owner for the beneficial enjoyment of his land. Okay, so maksudnya Servian land ni dia bagi portion tanah dia menjadi easement untuk dominant land. So Servian land, the land that serves the right or privilege. Dominant land pula the land which enjoys the benefit. Okay. So the characteristic of easement, okay? If you get this question of easement, I expect you untuk write this all landmark case, okay? Sebab based on Re-Ellenborough Park case, okay, there are 4 requirements. Sekejap dia suruh I close and share balik. Okay. Alright, nampak? Okay. So based on Re-Ellenborough Park, okay, there are 4 requirements necessary to create the easement. Okay, first, they must be dominant land and Servian land. Okay, kena ada 2 tanah di situ. DL land yang enjoy and Servian land. Okay, ni dominant land, Servian land. Sebab tu I colourkan dia. Easement ni tanah Servian, tapi sebab Servian bagi, so dijadilah easement. Okay, so you ikut colour ni. So the 4 requirements, they must be dominant land and Servian land. And then second, the easement must accommodate or give advantage to the dominant land. Okay, maksudnya the Servian land tu dia bagi advantage kan? Dia accommodate kepada the need of dominant land. Dominant land nak keluar ke main road. And then dominant and Servian owner must be of 2 different person. Okay, kenalah orang yang berlainan. Kalau orang yang sama, you tak perlulah easement pun, kan? Sebab you lah owner kedua-dua tanah tersebut, right? So, kena different person. The right must be capable of forming the subject matter of a grant. Okay, so maksudnya hak tersebut layaklah. Easement ni layak untuk diwujudkan. Okay. So the requirement laid down in Re-Ellenborough Park was followed in Malaysian case. In the case of, ni pun Allmark case. Tan Kam Chong against Stephen Leong. Okay, you boleh guna Tan Kam Chong case. Ataupun Stephen Leong case. Okay, I accept juga. Alright, Saleh Abbas, federal judge. Okay, so he emphasized that in establishing a claim for easement, such claim must possess all 4 karakteristik. So contohlah dalam kes yang mana surveillance landowner dia tak bagi dominant land. Macam mana dominant land nak lalu kan? So dominant land saman surveillance land. Dia nak juga easement. So dalam kes ni kalau dominant land claim for easement, okay, dia kena fulfill 4 elements ni. Okay? So the burden of establishing the claim would be upon the dominant land. Okay. So in Datin Siti Hajar against Murugasu, on top of the 4 requirements, the easement must be registered in order for it to be effective. Okay. Yang ni I nak you bezakan dengan unregistered. So contohlah, ni tanah kan? Okay, I bagi you contoh dengan tanah tersebut. So kalau dia registered, so akan letak dekat geran tanah. Jadi dominant land ni, dia akan guna this easement, portion ni. Okay? Contohlah, surveillance land ni dia bagi, okay lah, I bagi you dalam 5 meter ke 4 meter. Okay? 4 atau 5 meter untuk kereta you je lalu. Easement ni dia boleh specify, I nak bagi kereta you je lalu. You tak boleh nak bina atas tanah tersebut apa-apa rumput ke pokok ke, okay, untuk you je lalu. So let's say di tanah I bagi you easement belah kanan sahaja 5 meter. You ambil lah 5 meter tu you guna. So surveillance boleh guna the balance of tanah dia. So dalam gerai nanti dominant land ni hanya boleh guna berapa portion meter sahaja yang dibenarkan. Okay. Tetapi kalau you tak register the grant easement tersebut, okay, contoh surveillance ni kata, oh you bolehlah guna 5 meter tanah tersebut, okay, boleh je you lalulah belah kanan. And then dominant land ni lalu kan. And then surveillance tiba-tiba surveillance tarik balik. Oh no. Sekarang I dah tak nak bagi you easement. Contoh gaduh kan. Jiran kan mungkin akan gaduh kan. Okay. Adat tetangga kan. So kalau gaduh, so surveillance ni gaduh dengan dominant land. So surveillance terus tutup dia punya easement. Dia ada hak sebab itu adalah tanah dia. Okay, so dominant land apa yang dia perlu buat? Sebab tu dia kena register. Sebab surveillance tu tanah surveillance. So surveillance boleh ambil bila-bila masa. Okay, dia dah tak nak bagi easement. So in this dispute, what dominant land can do is to claim lah for easement. Okay, mula-mula dia pergi pejabat tanah. So kalau pejabat tanah tak boleh bantu, then dia pergi mahkamah. Okay, for this one, you akan sampai dekat my last slide for this. Let's say lah kalau easement pun tak boleh, you akan dapat right of way, LARO. Okay, LARO, Land Administrator Right of Way. Okay, I ada bagi sekali remedy dekat dalam my slide ni. So LARO ni, dia yang mana dia bukan orang yang saman. Dia pejabat tanah yang saman dia. Okay, sebab you complain kepada pejabat tanah akan dapatkan, pejabat tanah gunakan hak dia untuk dapatkan laluan untuk you. Laluan tu kita tak panggil easement. Laluan tu kita panggil LARO, right of way. Hak laluan di atas under pentadbir tanah. Hak laluan pentadbir tanah. Okay? So maksudnya yang tu memang surveillance tak boleh nak argue lagi dah. Okay? So now ni easement. Okay? So easement, dalam kes Datin Siti Hajar, the importance is that you must register it for it to be effective. Okay? So elements, dominant owner, surveillance owner, alienated land, dan form 17A, 17B for registration. So they are express condition, maksudnya kena expressly grant. Okay, maksudnya I sebagai surveillance landowner, I expressly grant to you, dominant landowner, untuk lalu. Kalau tak ada expressly stated atau expressly grant ataupun dalam mana-mana agreement lah you masukkan, tak ada. So, dia tak boleh, dia tak fulfill lah the elements of easement. Okay. So, yang ni kita guna form 17A, 17B for registration. Okay, types of easement. So dia ada dua, positive easement, negative easement. So when you get the problematic questions, you can identify, oh this one is positive easement ke negative easement. So kalau markah tu 25 markah, you can include sekali what type of this easement. Okay, kalau soalan tu pecah-pecah, then biasanya I akan buat straightforward je. So whether this easement is positive or negative. Okay, yang tu you boleh terus identify. Tapi kalau markah tu penuh kan, 25 markah. So you kena elaborate juga. What you rasa easement ni, what type of such easement? Okay, so dia ada dua, positive easement dengan negative easement. So positive easements, okay, it gives the dominant owner a right to do something. Okay, kalau negative easement, dia bagi the dominant land not to do something. Okay, so I rasa ikut ilustrasi ni senang kan? So maksudnya kalau positif, surveillance bagilah dominant lalu. Tapi kalau negative easement, surveillance tak bagi dominant lalu. Okay, some problematic questions, okay, ataupun some cases, alright, you akan nampak surveillance bagi. Tiba-tiba after 3 years, surveillance tak bagi dominant land lalu. So itu jatuh bawah apa? Tulis kat chat. Okay, I sambung balik yang ni tadi. Okay, so section 283, sub 1, sub A and affirmative easement. Maksudnya, this means to allow landowner Y to drive his car over the land of B. Okay, BY ni, right, jap. Fikir balik dekat sini lah. Kita anggap je surveillance land ni B, dominant land ni Y. Okay, so kalau positive easement, dia bagi dominant land lalu. Okay, so Y boleh lalu easement. Tapi kalau negative easement, dia tak bagi Y lalu jalan dia. Okay, sekarang soalan I tadi, surveillance land, mula dia bagi kan, after 3 years, dia dah tak bagi dominant land lalu. What would you answer? So it become negative easement. Okay, dia become negative easement. Dia ada restriction kepada Y. Okay, so Y tak boleh lalu tanah B. Okay, so this example lah. Alright, so kalau you dapat soalan, kalau after 3 years dia dah tak bagi, you boleh jawab, okay, that would be negative easement. Kalau benda tu unregistered, so easement tu memang tak ada. Tapi kalau benda tu registered, walaupun negative easement, however, the owner of surveillance land kena bagi dominant land lalu sebab easement tu has been registered. Okay? Okay, rights under easement, rights must be expressly granted. So meaning that easement must be registered for it to be effective. So for registration to be effective, you boleh refer section 286. Okay, I dah put dah kat sini. So under the case of Tan Wee Chun against Ong Pak Sang, okay, land bought by plaintiff and then plaintiff dia fence the land. Okay. So which therefore had obstructed the right of way used by the defendant. So the court held that easement must be created by express grant and thus registration is important. So kalau you tak register, easement tu boleh bila-bila masa ditarik balik oleh surveillance land. Okay. Dia keyword dia you ingat je. Surveillance ni maksudnya serve. So bila serve, you provide kan. So you bagi dia lalu. Okay, kalau dominant, dia occupy the land. So and dia dominant, dia get the enjoyment. Okay, so dalam kes ni, the importance of you need to register. Kalau you tak register the easement become negative. Okay. So dalam, sambung ni. An easement must be created by express grant. Ni ada dua ni. I explain further. The right claimed by defendant had not been registered, nor was it clear how it was obtained. So therefore, no easement was created. Sebab tu kena importantnya kena register. Okay, so rights under easement. Okay, rights under easement ada dua. Okay, rights able to be granted as easement and rights exclude from easement. Okay, rights for easement, simple lah. Okay, rights you to do something. Okay, over and upon surveillance land. So you boleh drive, you boleh gunakan easement di atas tanah surveillance land. Okay, apa rights excluded from easement? Okay, so the right excluded from easement dia ada dua. Okay, the right to take anything. You tak boleh ambil apa-apa di atas tanah dia. Bila you dapat easement, you cuma boleh guna lalu lah for that purpose sahaja. Bila dia register, dia ada purpose dia. So registered purpose untuk dia lalu saja. Tu yang dia tak boleh ambil apa-apa pun di atas tanah tersebut. Let's say lah, surveillance land tu dia buat tar. Okay, dia bagi you dah. Sorry? Okay, so surveillance tu tar jalan. Okay, so you tak boleh nak ambil batu-batu ke apa ke di atas tanah dia. Tu contohnya. Okay. So any right to the exclusive possession of any part of the land, but it does not prevent the right involving the placing and maintaining in or upon the surveillance land of any installation or other works. Maksudnya, you hanya boleh guna part of the land sahaja. Okay? So you tak boleh until maksudnya you tak boleh enjoy the whole of the land. Alright? So itu section 283 dan section 283 sub 2. So kalau kata rights excluded from easement, dia under sub 2. Okay? So next, section 288, the extent of the easement. Okay, so the extent ataupun advantage of the easement. So dia ada dua, right of footway and right to carriageway. Okay, right of footway maksudnya any person from the DL may pass and repass over the surveillance land without animals and vehicles. Okay, maksudnya dia hanya boleh jalan kaki. Maksudnya easement ni OI bagi you easement, tapi I bagi you cuma dalam 1 meter je. So 1 meter kereta tak muat lah, kan? So maksudnya 1 meter tu maksudnya dominant land hanya boleh pergi main road tu dengan jalan kaki. So right to carriageway pula with or without animals or vehicles. Biasanya right to carriageway ni pengangkutan. Maksudnya you bagi the surveillance landowner tu dia bagi lebih yang muat untuk you jalan dengan animals atau vehicles. Kenapa animal? Sebab zaman dulu kan you tahu tak apa yang kereta ditarik oleh lembu kan? Kereta lembu lah kan? Kereta lembu. Okay, so ada animals, ada vehicles, right? So kat sini you kena ingat the advantage dia ada dua, right? Okay, dominant land nak pergi main road, it can be right of footway. Maksudnya kereta dominant tu dia letaklah dekat entrance main road nak masuk easement ni. Tapi dia hanya boleh jalan kaki ke rumah dia. Lorong ke rumah dia. Okay, kalau right of carriageway maksudnya dia boleh masuk kereta. Okay, kereta atau animal ke kuda ke. Right? So bila tanya, okay, types of easement, positive and negative. Kalau the right extent of easement, dia ada right of footway, dia ada right of carriageway. Okay, so when you get the question, you kena explain juga. Let's say kalau dia kata 4 meter boleh masuk vehicle, so itu jatuh bawah carriageway. Tapi kalau kata Mr. A bagi easement kepada Mr. B only for 1 meter, he cannot pass over the land with car. So itu jatuh bawah right of footway. Okay, jalan kaki ataupun carriage pengangkutan. Right? So the position of unregistered easement, okay? Easement. Okay. Easement must be registered in the land office. So what would be the position of unregistered easement? So you can get the idea. Tadi, okay, bila unregistered, you still ada kepentingan saja. Hak you tak ada. You cuma be considered equitable. Okay, dari segi equity. So, dalam kes Alfred Templeton against Lloyd Holding, okay, there was evidence that parties had orally agreed to grant such right. Okay, so tanah mereka ni sebelah-sebelah. Okay, Alfred Alfred tak boleh keluar kalau Loyat ni tak bagi easement. Dia tak bagi jalan. Okay, jalan kemudahan untuk dia keluar masuk. So dalam kes ni, mereka tak come into agreement. So they will just orally sahaja. So Loyat kata, okay, orally dia bagi je. Okay, Alfred, you boleh lah lalu. Okay, sepanjang mana I bagi you lalu lah. Okay, so Alfred kata, benda ni, okay, masa zaman ni dia minta mahkamah identify whether this is considered as easement or not. So dalam kes ni, court held that whether plaintiffs were made to believe that they would have the right of way through the words and conduct of the defendants, the court granted relief to the plaintiff based on equity, even though such right was not registered. Okay, so maksudnya Alfred, you can still lalu, tetapi hanya sekadar equity lah, equitable easement. Okay, kalau lawyer nak tarik balik pun boleh. Alright? Okay, sebab you tak registered, that's why you kena registered. Okay, termination of easement. Okay, jap. Okay. Sebelum I pergi termination of easement, okay, another remedy, okay, if the surveillance landowner refuse to grant easement, okay, so dominant land boleh apply kepada land office, okay, untuk laru. Alright, so this is another remedy provided under NLC. Okay, so let's say kalau easement tak dapat, then you minta laru. Tapi kalau you tanya I, which one yang lebih preferable, definitely laru. Sebab easement boleh terminate. Okay? Sekejap lagi kita tengok terminate. Tapi kalau laru ni, dia pejabat tanah tau. Benda tu dah memang grant, dah memang ada dalam, you tahu ke kalau tanah, state, mereka ada plan kan. So dalam plan tu kira you pun masuk bawah grant tanah tersebut, tanah negeri tersebut. Not just your grant tanah sahaja, tanah kediaman sahaja. Okay, so maksudnya land administrator ni is more preferable. Okay, dia punya application pun sama je, konsep dia sama je dengan easement. Cuma beza dia borang-borang je. Okay, dan hak tersebut. But we are not going to look at laru lah. Okay, so more kepada easement. Another part is that kalau dalam construction industry, okay, you boleh request secara oral kepada, contohlah kalau you buat satu construction tu, macam ni lah, you jadi dominant land kan, dominant land owner, construction site tu dekat dominant land. So macam mana you nak bawa keluar masuk tools and equipments kan daripada main road. So you kena request daripada surveillance land owner. Okay, and bila you register, surveillance land owner boleh decide lah. Okay, nak bagi ke tidak, for forever ke tidak. Alright, so let's say surveillance land owner tak bagi, then you minta for laru. Okay, so that's kalau you nak apply dalam construction industry, construction site lah especially. Sebab tu dalam kontrak ada access road kan. You kena bila employer you bagi contractor possess the site, kena bagi sekali access road. If contractor tak dapat access road, contractor boleh minta untuk KM kan, grant untuk laluan, right? Okay, so termination of easement. So easement ni boleh terminated. Section 289, release of easement by the DL owner. Okay, maksudnya dominant land no longer require easement. Okay, probably dia dah ada sampan ke, boat ke, kalau river kan, ataupun dia dah buat jalan dah menyeberangi sungai tersebut ke. Okay, so benda tu dia dah tak perlukan dah. So dia boleh release easement tersebut. And this can be done by form 17C. Okay, so yang ni maksudnya di dominant land dah tak perlukan easement. Dia dah boleh lalu dah pass over the river or the mountain. Okay, mungkin mountain ni lepas tu dah ada development, dah ada laluan. So dia dah tak perlukan easement. Okay, that one dia sendiri kena register under 17C. Okay, I dah tak perlukan easement dah. So SL gunalah keseluruhan tanah dia. Okay. Next section 290. Extinguishment of easement. Maksudnya cease. Okay. No longer operate. Okay. Extinguishment of easement by unity of title and possession. In circumstances where the DL owner and SL owner come into the same ownership. Okay, so one owner buys the land of the other. So kalau dominant land beli tanah survey land, easement dah tak diperlukan. Kan? Sebab itu adalah tanah you dua-dua. Okay, kalau SL owner beli dua-dua pun sama juga. Okay, so meaning that this one under section 290, easement tu can be terminated if another owner buys the land of the other. So section 291. Cancellation by the registrar where one party no longer gives his consent. Ni yang macam I cakap tadi. Okay, ni yang macam I cakap tadi lah. Surveillance bagi dominant land lalu. After 3 years, dia dah tak nak bagi. Boleh. Sebab benda ni easement. Dia tak forever. Dia kalau you nak forever, you kena masuk laru. Laru untuk you jalan. Okay. And biasanya kalau you masuk laru, state government ataupun daerah, district land office, pejabat tanah daerah dia akan bagi satu fund. Alright, dia akan bagi satu fund untuk tarkan jalan you sekarang lah. Ataupun kalau tak tar pun letak pasir tu kan, pasir untuk dominant land lalu ke tanah besar. Okay. So another one proviso under section 282 where the land subdivided or partition easement will be extinguished and ceases to operate or is no longer in existence. So maksudnya yang ni yang mana dia disubdivide lah. Contohnya surveillance land ni dia pecah dua. Dominant land pecah dua. So kan jadi 4. And mungkin dominant land beli tanah. So dia dah tak perlukan easement. Okay. So under these 4. Alright. These 4 situation where the easement can be terminated. Okay. So for your final exam, please focus on this topic. Okay. The easement. Okay. Dah nak pukul 1 Okay, last one. Okay, ni easement tu laru. So that's why sebab kan boleh tarik konsen bila-bila kan. So that's why perlukan laru. Okay, untuk tenancy, okay, tenancy, the definition is the same as lease. Okay, untuk tenancy ni, I tak fokus sangat sebab dia lebih kurang lease. So nanti I'll give you the simple attachment 2 pages je I dah tuliskan dah buat ni. Okay, you do further reading on the tenancy for your knowledge. Alright, tenancy ni sama macam tadi I cakap, dia sama juga. It's a conveyance. Okay, it's a tenancy which you bagi tenant untuk duduk di atas tanah you ataupun property. Okay, but need not register. Alright. So the right pun sama juga. So I dah list down all the sections. So you do further reading. I upload dalam e-learning under reading materials. Okay? Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far untuk semua dealings?
Betul.
Okay?
Betul.
Alright. Yeah.
Betul. I want to ask about the easement. Request from the surveillance land owner, right? They need to pay or not? No need.
This one, easement. It depends. Okay, kalau register, biasanya untuk registration, yes, you pay something. Okay, on the land office. Tapi kalau contoh yang ni easement kan, it depends on the surveillance land. Kalau surveillance land request you untuk pay, you kena pay. Okay, tapi kalau again, surveillance land ni kalau you tak register, surveillance boleh tarik bila-bila masa. So it depends. Kalau surveillance land nak you pay lah. Kalau macam I, kat kampung I pun ada easement juga. So kalau surveillance tu dia kata tak perlu pun bayar. So you gunalah jalan tu. Okay, ada satu circumstances yang mana surveillance ni kata, okay, you boleh guna Ismen ni, provided I nak you tar jalan tu. So dominant land boleh guna that right of way, tapi dia kena tar jalan tu. Sebab surveillance still boleh guna easement tu. Sebab tu atas tanah surveillance kan. So let's say, kalau contoh you dapat soalan yang macam ni lah, kena bayar. Kalau kena bayar, biasanya terus off lah. Macam tu. Kalau easement, dia suruh tar jalan kan. Let's say surveillance tarik balik easement tersebut, dominant land boleh claim for compensation sebab you dah tar jalan tersebut. So surveillance kena bayar lah, tapi dia tarik balik easement tu. Okay, so what dominant land can do? Dominant land boleh apply untuk easement atau register such easement, okay, ataupun laru, right of way. Okay, clear?
Then for the LARU application, need to pay I also. Or no need?
Laru yes. Okay,
Oh,
laru kena bayar.
okay, thank you, Doctor.
Alright. Ni, easement tu laru. Okay, so where the civil landowner refuse to grant easement, you boleh buat application tersebut kepada land office untuk laru. I have this one laru case up to sampai Istana Kehakiman Putrajaya, yang mana kalau you nak minta laru ni, dia ada period-period dia. So, dia agak susah sikit. Kalau kita, I tak cover laru lah untuk you all. Sebab laru ni, dia lagi lengthy. Okay, for your semester, you all tak belajar laru lah. Okay, dia lebih kurang je dengan easement. Cuma laru ni, dia ada period-period dia sikit. Kena tengok borang tu. Borang tu kena within that time, within, macam tu. So, dalam construction site, construction industry, your construction site, you akan request for easement. Okay, easement untuk access road. Dapatkan kebenaran development kan, development order. Untuk easement untuk development order. Okay, and kalau laru definitely kena bayar. Laru ni compensation tu, kalau dapat laru, compensation kepada SL bukan DL yang bayar. Okay, compensation kepada surveillance land, pejabat tanah yang bayar. Sebab ini adalah pentadbir tanah. Of course, dominant land akan bayar something lah kepada land office. Tetapi itu after surveyor. Ni dia macam lengthy sikit. Dia kena surveyor check value, berapa market price tanah tersebut, berapa perlu dibayar. Macam tu. Tu laru. Sebab tu, easement ni orang biasa tak buat sangat. Sebab kalau you register pun, if SL tarik balik consent dia, burn lah easement you. Kan? So kalau laru, better prefer laru. Okay? Clear so far?
Okay, thank you.
Alright. Okay, so nanti you all focus on easement lah. Gitu. Kan? Okay? I dah bagi dah hint. Tak apa, nanti when you do the presentation for your coursework, okay? Actually, soalan-soalan coursework tu, ada 2 soalan daripada, 2-3 soalan lah daripada coursework you all masuk final exam. Dia sama je. Fakta tu sama, I tukar nama je. Okay, so do well on your coursework and your presentation you can share with others kan. So bila you present, so your classmate pun dapat the benefit. Alright? Okay, sudah pukul 1. So I shall I upload sekejap lagi semua ni dalam e-learning together with the previous. I dah extract dah recorded lecture juga yang sebelum ni. So you all boleh refer lah. Okay, you can start do your revision and notes for your final exam. Okay? Next week pun I ada meeting for your final exam. So hopefully dia biasa lecturer ada bagi sampel kan, sampel-sampel. So hopefully the examiner choose lah. Alright? The sample yang all the questions tu dalam your coursework. Okay? So that you also get the benefit of it. Alright? Okay, any further questions so far? Atau yang kecil-kecil ke, runcit-runcit ke before kita wrap up? Okay, so next week online online hari Ahad. Okay, I'm very sorry I couldn't come physical Rabu sebab kena panggil dekat court. Okay, So next week kita buat online, Ahad masih yang sama. Okay. For those yang could not attend, you just let me know via WhatsApp. So this one sebab replacement, tak payah email. Alright? Okay. Thank you so much. So nanti you all check coursework. Kalau dah lepas I auto set, tak salah I auto set dia pukul 5:30 macam tu. Nanti I check balik. So nanti I let you know dalam WhatsApp. Let me know kalau you all tak boleh access. Okay, because the previous time, the previous class, I dah ajar kan another program yang ni juga dia tak boleh nak access. So you let me know. Okay. Alright, thank you so much everyone. So I wish you all have a good lunch. Alright. Thank you so much.